Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Do you live in the suburbs or the city? Most of you do, because most Americans do. If you do, I have a suggestion for you. Temporarily bug out. Yep, that's my suggestion. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but first, I thought I'd give you a 360. All right. I'm excited about today. I have a day where I can work for myself today. So we're going to work on putting a ceiling in the bathroom onto which, reinforced as such, that we can store summer clothes up there and then flip it and store winter clothes up there. Storage space. Very small house. That's what I'm doing today. What are you doing? Hey, look. I know that most of you have not taken my advice and come out of Her My People into some rural area. Okay, I get it. However, today is, time for me to wear my glasses, the 18th. So we have not very long, 18th of October. We don't have very long before November 3rd. I believe it's highly possible and likely that there will be violence, in some cases extreme violence, in definitely cities and probably in some suburbs right around the election, before and after. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. You can't win that fight. No one's going to mess with my house. If they want to, they're gonna. And then if you defend yourself, there's a couple that tried to defend their property. What was that? Illinois. Why the heck anyone lives in Illinois is beyond me. Southern Illinois is fine, PJ. No, it's not. It's Illinois. They're in trouble, right? Temporarily bug out. Do you have an Aunt Millie? Do you have a friend that lives out in the rural areas that you could go visit for, starting the week before, with maybe plans to stay a week later, 2 weeks? I know that's a long time for house guests, right? Perhaps you could shorten that to about 3 days before the election. That's as close as I'd feel comfortable doing it, until an undetermined time afterwards. Can you do that? If not, can you afford to go to a hotel motel in a less populated area, or even better, go camping? Can you go camping? Tell the boss you're taking off work for deer season or something, and go, just somewhere else other than the city or the suburb, if that's where you live, for the election. The vast majority of people who live in cities and suburbs will probably be fine, because there's just the numbers, right? Roll the dice. But I fear that many will not be. Now, am I saying every city's going to burn? No, I am not. Am I saying cities are going to burn? Yes, they are. Is every suburb going to be attacked? Clearly, no. Are some suburbs going to be attacked? Probably. You want to roll your dice? Yes, most of you will. Most of you will. I have a good friend. He's on this board. And he says, if you did not bug out on 9/11, you will never bug out. And on the one hand, I really don't care if you bug out or not. I don't know you. So I don't have an emotional attachment to you. But on the other hand, I care deeply And I hate to see people needlessly suffer. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'd rather you have foresight than hindsight. And so, honestly, think about it. Now's the time to make plans. You know, in Oregon, where they had those horrible fires that I talked about, you still can't get hotel rooms in the area of where the people had to evacuate and where homes were burned. They're all full. They're full to capacity. It happens all the time when there's a hurricane, too. I've told people many times for most emergencies, the best bug out plan is a set of car keys and a credit card. Just go stay in a hotel outside of the beaten zone. That's what I'm recommending to you now. For those of you who aren't going to do that, which is the vast majority of you, plan B, why don't you have a bug out drill, and for 3 days before the election at a minimum, and why don't you just start, the entire weekend before, so that's about 10 days, right? Why don't you be ready to bug out? When I say ready to bug out, I mean packed, locked and loaded, ready to go. So that if, in fact, oh yeah, they're coming down my street setting things on fire, you can get in your vehicle and leave in 15 seconds and have alternate routes planned from where you are. Yes, you normally go turn right at the end of your driveway and go to the main road and go. Well, maybe you're going to have a plan to go out and turn left. You know what I mean? Try to figure that stuff out now, and be ready to bug out if you have to. It could be violent. Could be. Won't be out here. It'll be fine out here. There won't be nothing on. I'll be going to bed early that night. Because you don't think anyone's going to declare the election that night, do you? They're not. So that's it. That's my advice to you. Number one, if you live in a built-up area, bug out for the election. Just make it a camping trip. Go somewhere rural and look at things. You know, there's not going to be an Antifa riot at Yellowstone. Take the family to Yellowstone. You know what I'm saying, right? Go on a vacation. Go somewhere where the people aren't. And make sure you have your important stuff with you. And as long as I'm on it, because we're going a little short here, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and pick up your house, make it look generally nice, and then go open all the doors, closet doors, and cupboard doors, and drawers in your armoire or your dresser or that kind of thing, and all your closets. Take your phone or your camera, whatever you have, and go film slowly everything in your home, all your possessions. And then if you're really high speed, download it to your computer, put it on a couple sticks, send one to Aunt Millie, take one into your office and secure it in your desk or your safe or whatever, so that you have a record of all your stuff should something happen. My father, I spoke with him last night. They evacuated for the Oregon fires. They're now back in their perfectly fine home. Smells a little smoky, but other than that, everything's good. Praise the Father. And he and his wife had some serious discussions during their evacuation. They went and stayed with friends, kin, for, 2 weeks, I think. And they have refined their plans a little bit, but in general, they were very pleased with their bug out plans, the way it worked. And basically, they have a Class C motorhome. It's like a van camper, and they keep that thing ready to go all the time. They're not preppers, mind you. No, they're not preppers. They keep their van ready to go all the time. And they just grabbed some important things, which they had already discussed previously, threw them in the van, loaded up little things they didn't want to lose into their other pickup truck, and they both drove away. And they said they left in about 15 minutes, and they were generally happy with what they did. Good drill. How's your drill? How ready are you to flee right now? A block and a half away, houses are catching on fire. Are you ready to go? Thinking these things through in advance, like anything, taking steps in advance, doing some practice runs and then modifying what you thought you were going to do in advance, man, that is worth so much when something happens. It's why you're supposed to, it is why you are supposed to do fire drills, because at 2 o'clock in the morning when the house is on fire is no time to start thinking about, can the kids actually open their window and jump out down below, right? So you go through these actions now. You go through these things now. My wife and I have an earthquake drill. New Madrid is not coming here. A lot of people say, oh, New Madrid. No, just look at any, we have. I've done all the research on it. We may not even feel New Madrid. Possibility. We'll probably feel it, but it's not going to do any structural damage where I am. We still have an earthquake drill because we felt one here a couple years ago. And our earthquake drill is to get out of the house by the closest door immediately. No problem. We have a very small house. It's like a big hotel room. And we have lots of doors. So there you go. But we have a plan, and we've practiced it. Have you? All right, think about it. I want to see all you Vikings on the other side. I want you all safe. So have a plan to bug out, even if it's only temporarily. Take this opportunity of potential crisis and use it as a training opportunity. All right, I care about you. That's why I do this. I'll see you out there.